Hi, I'm a Filipino nurse, immigrant living in New Jersey, and I have a confession to make. I'm broke. And right now, I'm in Ocean County Park. I'm here to tell you how I'm still managed to live. How the heck am I still living? And even managed to travel and even spend some more despite having a negative bank account. How is that even possible? Well, it's possible. It happened to me. And also, despite having maxed out credit cards. Life. Life at 40, when you thought you had it all figured out, only to realize that you still haven't got it all figured out. I'm a broke 40-year-old immigrant. I'm a nurse, a registered nurse, and I work full-time as a home care nurse in New Jersey. Now, you're probably asking how I'm still broke. I'm supposed to be earning so much more than some people, yet how did I end up having a negative bank account, max out credit cards, and struggling to pay the bills? What went wrong? They probably think, oh, she's probably a spender. Well, you're right. I am a spender. That's exactly what happened. There was more money coming out than money coming in. More expenses than my income. And I let that happen. Now the question is, how am I going to get out of this shithole? And how the heck am I still living? I'm going to answer that question in this video. Here's a shocker though. Despite being so broke, I still managed to travel, eat at an expensive restaurant, stay at a luxurious place, at least for some people, and manage to have what I consider dream come true stuff because I never thought I could still have them for being so broke. Yet I still get to have them, luckily. I'm going to tell you all my secrets, but here's a quick disclaimer. I'm not sharing this story to persuade you to do what I did. In fact, I'm here to discourage you. I want to stop people from prioritizing immediate gratification more than anything else. Please, don't do what I did. So, this is my journey. A broke migrant to a broke immigrant. I came to the United States with a personal loan and a car loan. And once I got here, I got another car loan. What can I do? I need to get a personal loan so I can start my American dream. And I need a car so I can get to work as a home care nurse. But you know what? Even before I came to the United States, I already expected these additional expenses. I knew I needed to have a car, an apartment, a budget for groceries, gas, and some miscellaneous stuff. Yet, saving and investment were also part of the spending plan, so technically, I was ready. What I wasn't expecting was additional expenses that I never thought I'd get myself into, like expensive courses and gifts, more courses, travel, and shopping. That's how my finances started to go down the drain. Shopping as a broke millennial. I used to have extra cash for shopping, but not so much that I'd shop for brands that I don't normally buy, like Coach, Burberry, Ralph Lauren, Tory Burch, MK, you name it. I didn't know about them before, nor did I care. Thanks to the Jersey Shore outlet, Black Friday sale, and activities like last-minute holiday shopping, I got introduced to BNPLs. It's an app that allow you to buy now and then pay later. Some examples are Klarna, Afterpay, Affirm. Right now, I'm still using all of them. The thing about this BNPLs is that it's great to use, that you have an option not to max out your credit cards, thus saving your credit score. But when used so much, it has a downside. Little expenses are easier to manage when they are very little, but if you pile them up, one and another, you'll end up working to pay off all of them without having any cash left in your pocket for fresh spending. That's what happened to me. And I didn't stop there. Enter the loan sharks. I got bitten by loan sharks in my pocket. I'm talking about loan sharks disguised as cash advance apps in your pocket. At first, I tried Dave. Man, it was a bad decision. I thought I wasn't going to do that again until I felt the need to. I installed Bright Money, which led me to Earnin and Empower, the cash relief apps. It was indeed a relief at first until I started to get overdrafts, and then it was way too much to handle. Why did I go back there? Well, to pay off all the BNPLs and max out credit cards, I asked for personal loans. When I could no longer get personal loans, I asked for a line of credit on net credit. Although the interest was really high, I had no other choice but to get it because I just really wanted to pay off my debts. And when I could no longer get a line of credit, I succumbed to the cash relief apps. So why did I do that? I had a planned trip for my 40th birthday. I thought that would be enough, but since I was spending more than I was earning, I ended up having a negative bank account with an overdraft upon overdraft and more overdrafts. It was really alarming. It was depressing to see. This never happened to me before. This is the first time, but I let it happen to me. All because of a planned trip that's just around the corner. I have a list of weekly payments and almost each one looks like this. A car loan, car insurance, health insurance, line of credit for net credit, BNPLs, Affirm Afterpay and Klarna, and personal loans, Up loans, Upstart and Eventual. And don't forget all the minimum payments to all my maxed out credit cards. Amidst all that, I still took the bait and let myself get tossed to and fro. So, is it possible to travel without cash? That I did. With negative $700 in my bank account and maxed out credit cards and unpaid loans with high interest, I still hopped in the car with friends and drove 8 to 10 hours across the north border, Canada, all for my 40th birthday. We already have our paid time off. They were approved, so what more can we do, right? Although I felt scared and ashamed, I gave it a go. Who financed the gas? A good friend. Who paid for the tour tickets? That good friend. I owe her a lot after this trip and I appreciate her help so much. We stayed in a penthouse with a nice city view. How? I used Airbnb, and guess what? With Airbnb, I can use Klarna. I only discovered this during my first solo trip about a year ago, that I could use Klarna if I don't want to pay for my Airbnb stay in full, though I can afford to pay for it. I was saving more money for my bills back then. Now, however, I use Klarna because I just couldn't afford to pay for the stay in cash. What do I get? A nice city view with the CN Tower from the porch, and very happy friends who get to stay in their own beds for 3 whole nights. Was it worth it? It was. After all, I was told I would only turn 40 once. We did other stuff like fine dining in great restaurants. I'm gonna tell you about it. Honestly, I didn't want to eat at those fine dining restaurants. I was scared, I was worried, but since I only turned 40 once, I said yes. I said yes to having a dinner at the revolving dining room at the Skylon Tower, overlooking the beautiful Horseshoe Falls, Niagara Falls in full color. The night before my birthday, I also said yes to having dinner at the 360 restaurant at CN Tower in Toronto on the day of my birthday. Big thanks to that roommate, my friend, who paid for all of them. It's not free though. We were to pay her after. Still need to pay her back. I said 3 restaurants, right? So it did not stop there. I had a post-birthday celebration for my close friends who didn't make it to our trip. I didn't have cash or enough credit, but I still got to pay for us using a gift card. How? I bought one using a BNPL. I got a gift card for Outback from Afterpay. It's a lifesaver. Who will save me later? Myself, of course. How am I going to pay for all those? How do I plan to finally get out of debt? The only thing I can do really is just let the negative bank account stay that way until I paid it off. Let the credit cards stay maxed out until I could pay them all off. Let the loans, line of credits, and BNPLs stay that way until I could pay them all off. The only thing I can control of is work. I'm glad I'm employed. I'm glad I'm a nurse, so as long as I continue to work and get extra shifts when I can, I will eventually pay everything off. I used to worry so much about all this stuff, but now I just didn't care at all. Not to the point that I'd let myself spend on unnecessary stuff again and again and again. I don't want to do that. I just didn't want to worry about it anymore. So I'll just work and let the worry for itself. So let's talk a little bit about my dream come true stuff. If you're following me on Instagram or Facebook, you'll understand the gifts I got from my friends for my 30th birthday alone. Oh man, I feel so blessed to have friends who give me gifts that I both needed and not needed, yet wanted. Generous friends, I love them, and I appreciate all of them. Now what? Before becoming a US immigrant myself, someone told me that an average American normally has around $20,000 in debt. I've also heard worse. I couldn't imagine that. That's a lot of money for a Filipino who never worked outside the country unless you're a businessman. I never thought that it was possible, but it was. I'm 40 years old, broke, and living the American dream. I am deep in debt, yet I'm still living. I'm tired, but I'm working. I'm accepting all the consequences of all my actions and living my life as it is. Walking, driving, working, sleeping when it's time to sleep, getting all the PTO I have left, and feeling as if everything is just fine. I can hear myself singing. And what it all comes down to, everything's gonna be fine, fine, fine. I've got one hand in my pocket and there's the other one is giving a high five. What it all boils down to is that no one's really got it figured out just yet. Well, one hand in my pocket and the other is writing the story. Do you like this post? If you like it, just let me know in the comments. And if you have questions, you could also send me a DM on my personal Instagram. It's Wami 4.0, WAMI 4.0, and the other one is Neighbor Wam Reliora. Just write it down and you can find me on Instagram. That's the end of my story. This is your neighbor Wam Reliora. Well, I have an update because I wrote this about a week ago already. So I already worked some extra shifts, although this past week I did not. And I'm still in the process of paying off all my debts. One update though is that yesterday I was no longer overdraft. I mean, my bank account's no longer overdraft, but all the personal loans and even the net credit, they took off some of the payment from my bank account again. So from $700, negative $700, now I have negative 100. So what I did now is, I actually did this a couple of days ago, is I sold all my stocks on my Roth IRA. And why did I do that? Well, the stocks are going down anyway because of what's been happening recently with this administration, the decisions that comes and goes. So the market had been volatile since. So I just sold them because I needed them anyway. I know I'm going to get a penalty for that, but that's going to help with my negative 100 something overdraft. I withdrew it like yesterday. I sold the stock about 2 days ago, I think, or 3 days, and then the next day I was trying to withdraw it. I still couldn't do that. I thought I'm going to need 3 to 5 business days to be able to withdraw it from my account, but I didn't. The next day I could, but now I'm just waiting for it to reflect on my bank account. So once it's reflected there, once I can see it there, it's not going to be negative anymore. So that's a good thing. Now, my next problem is, how about the next one? My weekly salary, if I just work 36 hours a week, it's not going to be enough to pay for everything that I need to pay for. And definitely not enough so I could start saving again for investing. Not yet. It will take me about 6 months before I could start to do that. Maybe not yet save, but maybe enough so that I can live my life debt-free. That's going to be after 6 months, because aside from all the BNPLs, personal loans, and bad debts, I still need to pay my friend for 6 months. And other than that, well, another good news though is, in this story I told you about Empower and Earnin, the Bright Money, they need subscription, especially Empower. So last night, since I paid them off already, and I don't want to use cash advance apps anymore, so I unsubscribed from Empower. So that's a progress, right? So I'm gonna write about that, I guess, on Medium. But I already told you, so I'm just gonna include this on this video. And I'm gonna update you on what's happening with my financial journey, on at least being able to pay off all my debts. All right, I'll see you next week.